Hi, I'm Ian Mean. I'm talking to Phil Smith, Managing Director of Business West, following the lockdown. Phil, the restrictions are coming in on Thursday. How different are they this time than the first lockdown?
The restrictions are, in lots of respects, broadly similar. Stay at home, work from home if you can. I think schools and universities and colleges being allowed to stay open is a big change this time around. It'd be really disappointing if the unions get their way and shut down schools, because apart from the fact that I don't think young people have been well looked after by learning from home. Actually, lots of them didn't get much learning at all. So I think that's a real disaster for the young people. For businesses, it makes a real difference if someone has to stay behind and look after little Johnny or Josephine. So I think schools is the main difference this time round, Ian.
And looking at the safety precautions that lots of our members and firms have made, must be very disappointing for them now.
Yeah, a real kick in the teeth, isn't it? We don't know quite how these infections have been spreading. There's lots of suppositions, but businesses tried really hard, spent lots of money, made lots of efforts to make their workplaces or their services or their deliveries really as safe and secure as possible. And this must seem as a real kick in the teeth, particularly as they've spent lots of money doing this too, and cash will be difficult, won't it? They've spent their money, they're burnt to their cash, they've taken on loans, CBIL loans, COVID loans. So I think businesses are weaker than they were back in March. So it's very disappointing.
Yeah, and the government overall seem to have made quite a mess of their communication, haven't they? There's been a lack of clarity. We had a press conference on Saturday, which kept being moved by the hour. We've got the Prime Minister talking today to try and clarify things. Haven't they got to really clean up their communication?
Oh, most certainly. It's been a shower, hasn't it? I mean, even on Saturday, by the time they eventually did turn up at 6:30, they spent 3/4 of the time proving the facts and protecting Boris's backside from the science, as it were. Far too detailed for a public pronouncement. Too many graphs, too much detail, too many small letters on the screen. But that was just about protecting Boris from his own MPs, I think. And broadly, what's really disappointing about that, Ian, is they spent a lot of time showing the damage to their health, be it now or projected. There's very little evidence and data on the damage to the economy and damage to businesses. We're very short of that. We have no idea where we're going. And I think, if nothing else, in the next 4 weeks, they have to, as well as sharpen up the track and trace and get these vaccines up and going, they have to do some economic forecasting for 2021.
So an exit plan,
or even a living with it plan. Even if they don't know they're going to get out of it, because I'm sure they don't. I'd be very surprised, as Gove let slip recently, that if it's all over on December the 2nd, this will run and run. So we have to find some way of living with COVID somehow, and an economic strategy that's all written around living with COVID, rather than pretending it's going to go away quickly. Let's get realistic here. If the vaccines come and sort things out sooner, great. But if we don't, we need to have a plan for the next 15 months based on living with this.
What about furlough? That's been extended for just the 1 month. Shouldn't we be looking something like Germany and France? They've extended it for a couple of months.
Yes, I think they probably are thinking about extending it for several months, Ian. But they're desperately trying to get us back to Christmas, aren't they? There's a bit of populism going on there. I can see it getting extended again. And as I said yesterday, I think on my reports, furlough is just but part of it, isn't it? Furlough covers your cost of your employees, or most of their costs. You still have to pay the NI and pension. It doesn't pick up any of the rest of the costs that a business has, of rates and rents and VAT and tax and leases and stuff. So, companies have to bear costs before they sell anything in the morning, don't they? Before a customer's walking in the door, there's a lot of costs. And that's at the moment what I'm rather hoping that, as you say, Rishi announces this afternoon, some more grants and some more support. Otherwise, companies are going to give up the ghost, I think.
Now, what about Business West? we've got quite a lot of staff. What's your philosophy on future working safely?
Well, we've been working with a kind of blended approach since July, really. Most of the staff work really well from home. It works quite successfully, but we've been having various team meetings where it's necessary, where it works more effectively. People have been going into offices, having team meetings. And in some cases, some of our advisors, Ian, have been going out to clients, customers, where it's necessary, where there's no other way of doing it. I'm going to carry on with that. I think it works quite well. Clearly, if somebody doesn't want to go to an office or doesn't want to go to a client's premises, we're a considerate employer. We're not going to force anybody. But some people really want to meet their colleagues. So we're going to carry on as we were, being careful, being cautious. You know, our offices are well protected. Sam and Ruth and people have done a good job. And I think that's one of the messages I'd like to get out to the business community and the media and our members writ large, that, you know, business should not give up here. Business should carry on being pragmatic, being safe. Where possible, work from home, but it doesn't mean to say you have to work from home. If effectively it's not effective to work from home, get into the office, get into the site.